I looked at like a weather map last night, and it's like if you go northwest of Shreveport, there's an ice storm. And if you go southeast of Shreveport, there's going to be a hurricane. Let's start with the ice storm thing. Is that going to affect us here? What's the story for East Texas, Dallas area, maybe even here?
Yeah, well, we do have some cold air that's kind of wrapping in around behind a low that's sitting down into southeast Texas. So we do have some cold air where we are dealing with some snow across the panhandle of Texas, even some frozen precipitation falling in parts of western Oklahoma there. We are going to see that cooler air move in, but I think most of the winter precipitation is going to stay kind of where it's at. I don't think it's going to make it much further east than it is, but we are certainly going to see some chilly temperatures here in the Shreveport area as temperatures tonight are going to get all the way down to near 40 degrees. And tomorrow we might barely make it up to right around or just over 50 degrees. So we'll see the cooler air, but I don't think we're going to see anything in the way of the winter precipitation.
If folks are headed Dallas area or headed west at all, or even into Oklahoma, how far south and or into Texas do you anticipate a little snow and or ice might get?
I think you got to get west of Dallas, west-northwest of Dallas, and west probably of Oklahoma City. It is right on the western suburbs of Oklahoma City now, but I think that will improve as the day goes on because they've got kind of a south component to their wind right now that's going to help to warm things there. So you really got to get kind of western sections of Oklahoma and then well west and northwest of Dallas-Fort Worth. Okay,
so we dodged bullet number one, so to speak. Meanwhile, Hurricane Zeta, what's the track? Is that going to the latest is it's coming in just about over New Orleans. What do you anticipate for the next, say, 48 to 72 hours?
Yes, that is correct. Right now, the forecast track has it moving onshore in southeast Louisiana sometime later on this afternoon, heading into this evening. And yes, right now the forecast track looks like it will pass very near New Orleans. Now, as it moves inland, it will quickly race off to the north and northeast, a very quick-moving storm. It's moving at 17 miles per hour now. It does have 90-mile-per-hour winds. We are expecting it to strengthen a little bit. It could potentially become a Cat 2 before it would make landfall, but then again, it is going to race off to the north and northeast. So the good news with the storm is it is quick moving, but unfortunately, it is still going to bring some significant storm surge there to parts of southeast Louisiana. Some areas could see as much as 6 to 9 foot of storm surge southeast Louisiana and the coast of Mississippi there. And, of course, we will see some wind gusts up over 90 miles per hour as it moves on shore. Again, late this afternoon into this evening, I would say in the southeast Louisiana area, anywhere from about 3 o'clock to, say, 9 o'clock, southeast Louisiana, New Orleans. That's where they're going to see their worst weather.
How far into Louisiana, the eastern side of the state, I guess, or western Mississippi, will the bad weather be? How far into Louisiana? How far north? Alexandria, Ruston, et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, well, we're certainly going to see the bands of moisture out ahead of it. It's certainly going to send some rain, and has already really sent some rain across the northern Louisiana and even up into Arkansas. And you've kind of got this combined with the storm that we talked about that's producing the, kind of the snow and the ice. So those kind of storms are kind of intermixed right now, kind of adding to the rainfall there. So certainly some outer bands will work their way up across northern Louisiana and into southern Arkansas as we head through today and tonight as that storm moves on shore. It's a tightly compact storm. I mean, hurricane force winds only extend out from the center at 35 miles, about 125 to 150 miles. The tropical storm force winds extend outward. So it's a tightly wound storm, and it's moving so quickly that it's not going to really unwind quickly. So as it heads up through southeast Louisiana and into Mississippi, it's going to stay pretty tightly wound until it gets further into Mississippi and into Alabama before it kind of really starts to spread out. So I don't think we're going to see as far north as Shreveport the really, really strong winds. We would have the potential for some showers and some thunderstorms. And, of course, when you get a thunderstorm, you could have some occasional wind gusts that get into that 40-plus mile-per-hour range. But I really don't think the wind is going to be a big issue in Shreveport. But we could potentially have a few periods of some heavier rain.
You go in one direction, there's snow and ice. The other, there's a hurricane. I don't remember anything. I don't remember seeing anything like this before. But if you got to be somewhere, I guess we're the place to be to avoid all the bad weather, right?
That is correct. You're right. Being in the middle, you miss the worst of both ends. Yes.